Hello, my brothers and sisters. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Mike, and I'm simply here to do God's work as always. And today, I'd like to talk about a dream that I had a couple nights ago. Not really saying this is a prophetic dream or nothing like that. I'm pretty sure it was demonic, but the things that I discerned in this dream, I want to tell you guys about. But before we get into that, I want to say a couple things about the Bible and the gospel. You know, people want to say, like, if you're not following the scriptures and God, the scriptures of the Bible, the scriptures of the Bible, you're not following God. If you're not discerning what's going on specifically by the scriptures, you're not following God. Only the scriptures can tell you what God is doing. You know, I believe that to a certain extent, but not 100% because that's not true. Because people want to say, like, well, if you're having these dreams and these visions, they're automatically from demons and devils. No, because I've seen a lot of videos that actually match the scriptures of God. That means it's from God. And they say in every single dream, I guess it's in the book of David, that if you're having a dream, or Paul or David, one of the two, sorry, I get these names mixed up because there's a lot of names in the Bible that we got to remember. It's one of those two. I'm pretty sure it's David. But there's always, well, if it's God speaking to you in these dreams, he's going to reveal himself to be God. I believe that sometimes too, yes, because in videos and testimonies that I have seen, that has happened where God has revealed himself as Jesus, or Jesus has revealed himself as Jesus, or, you know, vice versa, because it's one and the same. But I believe the Holy Spirit can also speak to you through feelings. Because a lot of people don't believe that. They're like, no, the Holy Spirit cannot speak to you through feelings or nudges or anything like that. Yes, it can. How do you think you discern right from wrong? How do you think the Holy Spirit convicts you? It doesn't always whisper in your ear saying that this is wrong, this is wrong. No, you get that gut feeling that you know that this is wrong. It can always come through feelings. I've worked with a couple of people that are churchy going people, and they're always like, no, God has to speak to you. He has to do this. He has to do that. No, not at all, because a lot of things that I discern and I know that's right from wrong comes from my feelings. Like some of these dreams and visions that I've had is in my spirit. It comes in spirit, and you know that you know that you know that is a good spirit or a bad spirit, because I have totally discerned the good from the bad, because the bad spirits have an entirely different feeling of their own, and you know for a fact that it's bad. I've had dreams about angels, and I had dreams about Jesus himself, and I knew that this was God and Jesus, because it gives you that peaceful feeling, that feeling of just bliss and light and hope. Devil spirits don't do that. So for those out there that are like, oh, the spirit has to speak to you. No, it doesn't. Because it can speak to you in your spirit through your emotions. It can. Otherwise, we wouldn't have emotions, because that doesn't make any sense. Another thing is that a lot of these pastors and preachers out there want to tell you that there's no disciples in this day and age. There's no disciples in this day and age. There's no disciples or apostles in this day and age. Yeah, I can understand when it comes to being a chief disciple of Christ, the 12 disciples that are chief disciples, chosen disciples, yes. But in this day and age, there are disciples of Christ, because we are told to go out there and preach the gospel to people. That's a disciple. A disciple is nothing more than a follower. Look it up in the dictionary. It says follower. People want to be like, no, there's no disciples of Christ. There's none of that. Yes, there is. Otherwise, Jesus wouldn't have any followers today. Like, that doesn't make sense at all. I don't get that. Oh, you can't. There is no disciples. You can't be a dreamer. You can't. There's no prophetic dreams. There's no speaking in tongues. You know how many times I've heard that people like just regular people like me or other people can't have gifts from God. Nobody can lay their hands on people and heal them. Nobody can speak in tongues for real. Nobody can do this. Nobody can see visions. Nobody can do that. That's ignorant. That's ignorant for you to say. You're going down the wrong path, because that's not true. I don't believe that. I wholeheartedly do not believe that. Sorry, but it doesn't make sense, because I've seen some videos lately where even the kids now, the tiny kids, or my bad, forgive me, the tiny children, we're not goats, so we're not kids. The tiny children are coming out with visions of Jesus. A couple of them coming back from their near-death experience saying that, yeah, Jesus is real, being wide awake, seeing Jesus standing there right in front of them. yeah, it's real, and no, it's not demonic, like everybody likes to say. Well, that's automatically demonic. No, it's not. Not at all. Acts 2:17, in the last days, I'm going to pour out my spirit unto all people. A lot of people want to put that along the lines of when Jesus died. In his last days, when Jesus died, he gave dreams and visions to the prophets, to his apostles. Yes, that is true. But who's to say that this doesn't count for those days? And who to say it doesn't count for these days now? I'm pretty sure it does. In the last days, God is going to pour out his spirit unto all his people. Your sons and daughters are going to prophesy. Your young men are going to see visions, and your old men are going to dream dreams. Pour out his spirit unto all his people. When he says all, it doesn't just mean the disciples. That doesn't make any sense. So people need to start discerning the Bible for themselves. Yeah, these pastors and preachers out there are good, but you need to read the Bible and you need to discern for it. You need to discern it for yourself. Sorry, for some reason I can't talk today either. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because it's just one of those things that's just weighing on my heart, and it's just like it doesn't make sense for someone to say that. How can you say God doesn't give dreams and visions to people? People want to be like, well, why would he give you dreams and visions? What's the point? What's the point? So you can take that testimony and tell other people about it and to let them know what God is doing in your life and in other people's lives. That's exactly what it's for. People don't want to believe that. They're like, nope, that's demonic. If he didn't come to you himself and say that I am God and this is what I'm doing, or the Holy Spirit didn't come to you and say, hey, I'm the Holy Spirit, I'm going to go ahead and convict you of this. It's not true. That doesn't make any sense. The Holy Spirit can speak to you through nudges. It can speak to you through gut feelings. It can speak to you through feelings. A lot of people just don't want to believe that, but it's the truth. I'm sorry. The truth hurts. Yes, the scripture is very good to read, and it is the word of God. Take it like Jesus is sitting there talking to you. Like, take it like that. But there are other things that you can discern with your spirit that, yes, this is the spirit of God. Yes, I can discern it because it's biblical. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do that. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. But I want to get into this dream that I had, and I'm pretty sure this dream was a demonic dream. So even if you get a demonic dream, it is still a divine revelation because you can take this dream and discern it and pick apart what needs to be said to people out there that have never had these dreams or that have never had experiences like this. I get dreams and visions a lot. Guys seen my earlier videos, I get dreams and visions a lot. So I'm pretty sure that this was a demonic dream, but I want to try to discern it for you as I'm going through it. So let's give this a try. Just try to keep up with me as best as you possibly can. So let's get into it. Okay. When I've entered into this dream, I start out on a rocky road. And it's basically as far as you can see that way, and as far as you can see that way, it's just this, it looks like this brand new, like if someone would have dumped a brand new gravel road, if someone would have just created a brand new gravel road with just brand new looking rocks, that's what it looked like. So, and in this dream, I get the feeling in my spirit that it's like if I were to go to the left, it would be the Renaissance. If anybody's been to the Renaissance Festival, that's what came to me in this dream. It was like if I were to go to the left, it'd be the Renaissance. And if I were to go to the right, it would be Disney World. For some reason, that came to me in the dream. I'm not sure why, but it did. So in the dream, I'm looking at this road, and I decide to go towards Disney. I don't know why I decided to go towards Disney because I like the Renaissance way better. But in the dream, something tells me just to go down the road, the Disney road. So I'm on this rocky gravel road. I'm just walking down, and I notice that it's super cold outside. So, I put my hands in my pockets, and I'm just walking down this road. I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm walking. And the urge to use the restroom comes up on me. And I'm like, man, I got to use the restroom. But we all know how those dreams work out. Don't ever use the restroom in your dream because you know what will happen. But in the dream, the urge to use the restroom comes up. And, I'm walking down this gravel road. And it's like, man, I need to use this bathroom. But I come across this building. It's pretty tall. And so I'm walking towards this building. And I'm walking around it. And there's this opening. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's a restroom in there. So, I enter this building, and when I come into this building, it's basically just like a square room. It's a square room with a stairway in the back, a TV on the wall to the left, and when you look at this TV, it's like if you turn a channel and there's nothing there. You all know how that staticky channel looks. That's exactly what it looked like, which I don't know what's going on. And in the middle of the room is like if you had like this big, what do you want to call it? A place where a flower bed. Some places have that, big thing in the middle where it's got a flower bed in it. That's exactly what it looked like. Instead of it being a flower bed, it was filled with Dragon Ball Z toys. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm a fan of Dragon Ball Z, but it was just filled to the brim with these Dragon Ball Z toys. So I walk up to this flower bed and just pick up a Dragon Ball Z toy, and I'm looking at it like, why is this thing filled with Dragon Ball Z toys? That doesn't make sense to me. But in the dream, I'm like, maybe it's because I like Dragon Ball Z toys. And before I go any further into this story, I want to tell you guys that back when I was doing my witchcraft, I became very good at lucid dreaming. So the entire time I'm in this dream, I'm able to control what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. So that is a good telltale sign that this is a prophetic dream and it needs to be paid attention to. So in this dream, I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on with my surroundings, but it's whatever. But I know exactly what I'm doing in the dream. So I have this toy in my hand and I'm looking at it and I just like, why are these toys in this dream? Maybe it's because I like Dragon Ball Z, but maybe that's what it is. So I put the toy back where it goes and I look at that dark stairwell. You can see the stairs, but when you look up it, it's just complete and utter blackness. So I'm like, okay, but something is drawing me towards those stairs. So in the dream, I'm like, you know what? I'm going. So I walk up to these stairs. I get to the first stair, look down, and I look up, and it's just nothing but darkness. So I'm like, here we go. So I start up these stairs, and to my knowledge, this building has 3 levels to it. So I'm on the first floor. I walk up the stairs, and it's like kind of like you walk up, turn, you walk up again. So I'm walking up to the second floor, and when I get to the second floor, I'm standing there, and there's this picture on the wall. In the dream, I knew exactly what the picture was, and I wanted to record it, but I cannot remember what the picture looked like to save my life. I can't. And I really, really, really wanted to know what that picture was. But in the dream, I knew exactly what it was. I was looking at it, I was staring at it, and as soon as I woke up, I could not remember what it was. But besides the picture, I'm standing here looking at the picture, and I turn around, and there's another set of stairs. So I sit there and stare at the stairs for a minute and ponder, should I keep going? So I go up to the third set of stairs. And keep in mind that it's really weird because when you get to the second floor, there's no way to go. There's nothing. There's no doors to go out into anything or nothing like that. It's just the stairs and the platform where the stairs is, and that's it. So I'm like, okay. So I go up this third set of stairs, and when I get up to the middle of these stairs, I stop and I see 2 men coming out of this dark hallway. I don't know if they're running from something. I don't know if one dude's chasing the other. I just don't know. But I see these 2 men come out this hallway and start rushing down the stairs towards me. And like any normal person would do, they stand aside and let these people go. That's exactly what I did in the dream. I just stood aside. Excuse me. I stood aside and watched these people run down the stairs, and I'm like, what's going on? What are they running from? Or was that guy just chasing that guy? I don't know. But all I could feel from these 2 people, or whatever they were, was kind of fear. So I'm like, okay. So I look up for where they were coming from, and there's a big black hallway. So I continue up the stairs. I get to the top of the stairs, and I look down, and there's this black hallway. But it's like you can see through the darkness, but it's totally pitch black. So it's really weird. It's like in some of the other testimonies that I had where it's like it's complete darkness, but you can see through the darkness. And it's like this hallway just, it goes and it goes and it comes to a point. So I start walking down this hallway, and I get to the end of the hallway, And all I can see at the end of the hallway, there's no door, but when I look to either side of me, on the left, there's a tiny door. Just like in Alice in Wonderland. Like you all seen that where they look and it's got that little tiny door and she shrinks and she goes into it, whatever. And on the right side of me, there's another tiny door. So for some reason, I'm drawn to the door on the left. So before I can do anything, I crouch down and I go to like touch this door and the door flings open. The little tiny door just flings open. So I'm like, okay, what in the world's going on here? So I go to look in this door and I go to like bend down and stick my hand like close to the door. And when I do, it's super strange. Like a pencil tries to come out and jab me. Like it's a legit like pen just comes out and tries to jab me. And I'm like, what the heck? And so I try to do it again, and the same thing happens. Like a pin just tries to come out and tries to jab my hand. Obviously, something's trying to hurt me in the dream. That's what I'm getting. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? But the third time, I get prepared, and for some reason, I have a pen of my own. And as soon as I put my hand close to the door, the pen comes out and tries to jab me. But I grab my pen and hold that pen down with my hand. And as soon as I do that, a bunch of other pens try to come out and start trying to jab me. So I just move my hand completely and just like, okay. I'm not going to screw with this door no more because obviously what's behind it is trying to hurt me. So my attention is drawn to the door on my right. And when I open this door, or this door opens up by itself, I can't really remember what happened, if I opened it or the door opened by itself, but when I look into this door, it's just pitch black. You can't see nothing on the inside. It's not like the hallway where it was pitch black, but you can see through it. No, this door was just pitch black all together. And I'm trying to see what's going on inside it, but I can't. I'm looking down, I'm like, I can't see what's going on in this door. So I stand up and I just, ponder a little bit like, huh. And I turn around, look at the other door, and it's still open, but there's nothing going on with it. And I turn around and look at this door, but when I turn around and look at the door on the right, it's a big normal sized door now. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I grab the doorknob and I open up this door. And when the door flings open, I don't know why I did this, but it's like when you fling a door open and you don't want someone to see you, you get on the other side of the door. You're like the door's right here and you're just on this side. Like that's exactly how it was. I flung this door open and I get on the wall next to the door so no one can see me. And I'm taking peeks on the inside of this door and it's nothing but pure blackness at its finest. In the dream, I'm like, man, I need a light source. So my phone appears in my hand and I'm trying to find, the flashlight app on my phone so I can see what's in this room. And for the life of me, I know exactly where my flashlight button is on this phone. But for the life of me, I cannot find the button for it. It's like it's non-existent. It is like non-existent. So we're going to pause right here and try to discern what was going on. The rocky road, I'm not really sure what that means because I really can't discern that one. I don't know why it was the Renaissance, and I don't know why it was Disney. But the Disney thing to me just comes off as evil anyway, because we all know what goes on in Disney. Disney is absolutely evil. The Renaissance, things go in the Renaissance that's not holy either, or non-biblical, people dressing up as different kinds of creatures and fantasy and all that. So that the Renaissance isn't good either. But why I picked Disney, I don't know. But it seems more demonic to me than the Renaissance does. But the Renaissance it's really not good either. But everybody likes the Renaissance, but the Renaissance is not good either. But as I get into this building, I don't know why the flower bed full of Dragon Ball Z toys appears. I don't get it. But that's something I forgot to mention. When I entered this building, it was like, y'all seen the Red Room, where it's like dark, but it's lit up with red lights? That's exactly what this looked like. Like the whole time I'm in this building, it's lit up with just red lights. So I'm like, okay, we're in hell. That's kind of reminded me of, I was like, we're in hell somewhere. But, as I'm walking up those stairs, I see that picture that I know is important. I just cannot, for the life of me, remember what was on this picture, which I'm quite pissed about because I wanted to tell you guys about it, but I don't remember what it was. But in the dream, I knew it was important. I just can't remember what it was. And then seeing those two dudes run down the hallway, I'm thinking that they're, running from whatever is up in the hallway, There are people doing hell. They're running away from monsters. So I'm like, there's probably a monster up there or something like that. You know, just two people just running away from their torment. That's kind of what I discern from this. But the two doorways, I'm not sure what I'm discerning from this one besides that it was trying to harm me. But the other doorway, I'm kind of discerning that it's just pure and utter darkness. Outer darkness is what I'm thinking, because when I tried to find this light source, I just could not do it. Could not do it for the life of me. I don't know why. I just couldn't bring up a light source to look into this room. And it was bugging me so bad in the dream, like legitly. It was making me cringe in the dream that I could not find the light source. But I wrote a script down for this dream so I didn't forget it. So I'm going to try to find out where I am so I can remember just perfectly. Walked up to the third floor, see two people running down from the picture on the wall. Left door had pencils trying to stab me. Right door was darkness. And after I look into this room, it's completely and utterly pitch black. I'm transported to another part of the dream. To a room. I'm transported to a room where there is vulgar things going on. Look, when I say vulgar things, you know, it's the stuff that goes on in like porn. That's what's going on in this dream. I'm like, okay. It's like I'm standing off in the distance in this dream, but I'm seeing everything that's going on. It's like the people don't acknowledge that I'm there, but I can see everything that's going on. And since this is going to be an adult video anyway, I'm going to go ahead and say what was going on. There was a female giving another man oral sex. That's what I'm going to say. There was a female giving a man oral sex. And these people come rushing in the room and they like accuse this man of causing this girl, or how am I going to say this? They're accusing this man of making this girl give him oral sex. And I'm just watching at this point. I'm like, what is going on in this dream, dude? And like these people just come in and grab this girl off this man, and this man's giggling like, and he's just saying vulgar things to the people that ran in the room and to the girl. But this girl is getting like babied about like how this man was making her do these awful things. And so they let this girl go. And as she's walking off, I'm transported in front of the girl. And when I'm transported in front of the girl, I can see her facial expression that she's got on. As she's walking towards me, she puts on like this veil type thing. It just goes over her head right about here. It stops right about here. She puts it over her head. And as she looks up, this huge demonic smile comes on her face. And it's completely terrifying for real, because it's like she knew what she was doing. It's like her getting babied and like, oh, honey, this man made you do this. Oh. It's like she was like, oh, yeah, he was trying to make me do this. And she was like accusing him of forcing her to do this act on him. And it was like, I'm watching this go on, and I'm like, to me, it feels like you're both in the wrong. But, you know, whatever. But as I'm transported in front of this girl, it's like she's walking, she can't see me. It's like I'm standing right in front of her, but she's about to walk straight past me. But I'm looking at her face as she's putting on this veil, and it's like this big creepy smile comes on her face, like she knew what she was doing. I don't know why this is going on in my head, in my dreams, but this is exactly what she was doing. But to discern this, I'm going to say that this is me struggling. This is me struggling with the lust that I'm struggling with, because every man basically out there struggles with lust. Okay, some of my things is lust, and it's profanity that's out of my mouth. That's two of the biggest things that I struggle with right now is lust and profanity. But I'm calling out the Jezebel Spirit in this, because that's the first thing that popped in my head when I seen that lady smile, was the Jezebel Spirit. So let me get back into where we were. Transported to an area where there's vulgar things going on. Yes, demonic smile appears across this lady's face. I'm transported into a car, and I'm going down the highway. I'm watching these people. It's like college just let out. There's like a college dorm, there's like a college building, and you know how all that looks. And it's like college people are just leaving college, and they're, walking down the sidewalk. And I'm looking at all these people walking on the sidewalk because I'm like in this car. But as I'm looking at all these people, I'm transported to the sidewalk. And I'm just looking at all these people. And when I look over, I see my girl standing there next to me, and we're just looking at all these people. And it's like we can hear all these people's like thoughts, or they're muttering. It's like they're muttering, but it's not coming out as words. It's like you can hear their thoughts along with their muttering. And what most of them are muttering about, it's like, college is too expensive. I'm never going to be able to afford it. Why did I put myself in debt going to college? And it's like they're muttering all these negative things. It's like I said in my last video, it's like college is a scam. It's a legit scam to get you to be in debt. That's all it is. Because they teach you things, and then when you get out of college, you can't even get a job for the thing that they taught you about. It's ridiculous. And then you're like 10 grand in debt. And so you're trying to pay off that for the rest of your freaking life because you got all these other bills stacked on top of it. But it's like all these people are just muttering. And the one person I noticed, they stop in their tracks, and they're just kind of like veer off and look at the highway that I just was transported from, and they're just muttering to themselves like, I'm never going to be able to afford this. I can't do this. I don't know why I'm here. And I look at some other people, some other kids, and they're like, ha, 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 I can't wait to get my new career after college. But it's still like you can see it in their face, and they're like, but am I going to get it though? And to discern that, it's just like a scam. It's like college is a scam. Some of the things you learn in college is good, yes, and it's useful outside of college in the real world. It's useful, but most of it's garbage because most of these kids come out with blue hair and a nose ring, and they're taught that there's many more genders than just two, which is just a lie. I don't know how people believe that or what fantasy or delusion they have fell into, but that's not true. There's only two genders, male and female. God intended it for it to be two. One cannot become the other. Get it through your heads. It's not possible, and it's not true. That's a delusion. But moving on. Transport to the side. Oh, and I don't know why. Like me and my girl in this scene of the dream, we're kind of like poking fun at people because we know deep down that college is a scam. I don't know why we're poking fun at these people, but it's like we are poking fun. Like, you're about to come out with blue hair and a nose ring. Exactly what I said in the dream. So, I'm transported to another part of the dream. In this area, I'm trying to tell people about what just happened to me in the Disney building. I got a bunch of my friends around me, some from work, some from church, and my daughter is in this part of the dream. I'm trying to get people to listen to me so I can tell them about this dream that I'm having, but nobody will stop and pay attention. It's like, hey, hey, hey. It's like I get their attention, they stop and they look at me. I'm trying to tell them about the dream, and then they just go off and do what they're doing, which is starting to really aggravate me in the dream. Because I've tried it like several times. I'd get their attention, they'd all start listening, and they just turn around and veer off and do what they're doing. It's like they will not listen to what I'm trying to tell them. I even try to get my daughter to sit down and listen. She's like, yeah, Dad, tell me about it. I start to tell her, she gets up, and she just walks away. And I'm like, what is going on in this dream? Like in this room, there's a couch. And one of my friends is literally just laid up on the couch. And I'm like, dude, I said at the end of the couch, I'm like, dude, you got to hear this dream. You got to hear about this dream that I just had. He's like, oh yeah, go ahead. Tell it to me. Look at me dead in the eyes. He's like, go ahead, tell it to me. I'm like, well, in this dream, I'm on this rocky road, and then he just falls asleep. I'm like, what is going on, and why isn't anybody listening to me? And when I say that, everybody in the room turns around and looks at me, and I'm like, why aren't you guys listening to me? I have something to tell you about this dream. And they all sit there and stare at me. And they're like, okay. We'll listen to you. We'll listen to what's going on. So they all get closer, And it's like I'm in the middle. It's like they all get close and they're like, yeah, we'll listen to you. And it's weird because some people are on their phones, but they have people on their phones. Like if you're doing that, like if you're on the phone with somebody, but you got their picture pulled up and you're talking to them through the screen. That's how it is. And some of them are like that, and some of them are holding their phones up. I don't know why this is going on, but they're holding their phones up, and they're like, okay, we're here to listen. I was like, no. It's like, you guys are not going to listen. They're like, no, we're going to listen. We're all going to sit here and listen to you. Finally. I'm like, in the dream, I'm lucid in this dream, so I'm like, because I've already tried like several times, and it's getting on my nerves so bad. I'm like, okay, fine. I was like, turn off your phones. They're like, okay. They all turn their phones around. They all turn off their phones. They put their phones down. I'm like, all right, you guys ready to hear this dream? They're like, yes, we're here to listen. And as I start to tell the dream, I'm like, I'm on this rocky road. You know what? No, because I know exactly how this is going to go. None of you guys are going to listen. I'm going to get to a certain point, and you're all going to turn around and do what you're doing. I'm not doing it. And they're all like, well, we're all going to tell you. And then I'm transported to another part of the dream, which is weird. See what this part of the dream is opportunity with me. Realizing I'm in the. Okay, now I'm transported in the middle of the town that I live in, and I'm walking down this road, and in this part of the dream, it's like there are no men. It's all females, and they're just all over the place. Some of them are walking down the other side of the sidewalk. I'm walking down one side of the sidewalk. It's like some of them are walking past me. Some of them are in the street driving. It's really weird. This part of the dream is because it's like every single female is in their underwear. And I'm in this dream, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what is up with the seductive garbage that's going on in this dream? That's exactly what I said in this dream. I was like, what is going on with the seductive crap? Garbage. Forgive me if people don't like the word crap, but I use it a lot. But I'm just looking around and I'm like, what is going on in this dream? So I'm walking down the road. I'm noticing more and more females in their underwear. And I'm like, what is going on? So I turn around on this sidewalk and I start walking the other way. But me being a lucid dreamer, I know the things that I can do in my dreams. So I'm walking down the sidewalk and I get the feeling that it's just taking too long. So I legitly like dash, sprint, teleport / whatever into a different part of the dream. It's like, boom. And I'm at this other part of the dream and I look over and I see this apartment building. And as I'm looking around, I still see females in their underwear. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on? But I see this female in particular standing in front of this apartment building, but she's fully clothed. And that's the only female that I take notice to. So when I see her, I don't know why I did this, but in the dream, I'm still loose. I know what's going on. But at this point in the dream, it's like something takes over my emotions. So I'm walking towards this female, and I just grab this female's hand. And she looks at me, and I look at her, and we kind of just like nod to each other. And it's like, I know what's going on. I can see it, what's going on. And this female, her orientation is like, it's like Asian, kind of. I remember that specifically. She's like dark-skinned Asian. And we walk into this apartment building. And as we walk in, the apartment building is kind of set up. It's like to where, like, if you would look off to your left, it'd be like apartments. It's like a square, but it's like apartments on the wall, apartment doors on the wall. And like in the middle of the floor, it's like an opening to like a basement section where there's also apartment doors on the wall. And for some reason, as I got this Asian's hand, we walk down the stairs to the bottom floor. And as I can see door, apartment. But in the very corner, there's the bathroom. And for some reason, me and this girl, we walk straight to the bathroom. We walk in. I let this girl's hand go. And she like rushes into the bathroom. But she's not sprinting. She just starts speed walking. And as I go into the bathroom, you walk in and like you turn. And as I turn, there's that utility closet that some bathrooms have in it. So the maintenance man can get into his, get his tools out and stuff like that. That's how it is. That's how it's set up. It's like You walk in, you turn, there would be a mirror on your left with a sink, and there's a toilet there. It's like a urinal. There's a urinal next to it. It's a small bathroom. And if you turn, and like I said, you walk in, you turn, mirror, urinal, toilet, utility closet. This girl walks into the utility closet and turns right and straight into the wall. And she disappears right into the wall. But as she does that, I'm looking like, huh. But my eyes are drawn to this guy. Okay, this is when the dream gets really demonic. My eyes are drawn to this guy. His height, he's no taller than I am, and he's sitting on the wall. And he's got like this, I'm pretty sure I was going to call it the maintenance man, because that's what this dude looked like. He looked like the maintenance man. He's sitting on the wall with his hands crossed, and he's got this big demonic smile on his face. And when I say demonic smile, this dude's like cheesing in the corner, because it's like he knows exactly what's going on. And when I see this, the fear starts to overtake me. But it's like, since I'm a lucid dreamer, I know what's going on in this dream. As the fear starts to rise, I just push the fear back down. I'm like, wait a minute, no. No. That's not how this is going to play out. And that's exactly what I said in this dream. That's not how this is going to play out. So I walk straight up to this maintenance man, grab him by the shirt, and I push him over to the sink, where he's basically sitting on top of the sink. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing? And what the heck are you trying to pull? Who are you? And what are you doing? And as I'm questioning him, his smile kind of just disappears. And it's like the fear starts to overtake him. And I'm like, I know what you're doing. And I know what you are. And this is not going to happen. And as I'm questioning him and pushing him forcefully into the sink, it's like he starts to fumble for something in his jacket. And I instantly, in the dream, I know he's fumbling for a weapon. So he's fumbling for this weapon. And I kind of take my hands off his shirt, and I reach into his pockets and I grab his hands, and I'm like, nah, we're not doing that. So I take the weapons from him, and I'll never forget what it is. It's a tiny little silver gun with a silver clip. And I'm like, really? Is this what we're doing? So I put the gun in my hand with the clip, and I grab this dude by his shirt, knowing that I'm in control of this dream. And I basically teleport us both up to the first floor where me and that girl came in at. So we teleport up, and this dude's like, let me go, please let me go. And I'm like, and I kind of just let him go, and he kind of falls backwards and stumbles back, and he gets up, and as he's running, he's trying to run back down those stairs. I tell him, hey, don't forget your gun, and I kind of just chuck it at him, and it lands right at his feet, and he stumbles and tries to pick it up, and he just runs back down the stairs and disappears. This is the part of the dream why I sort of wake up. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. For some reason, I have the skill, when I wake up from a dream, I can place myself back in the dream in the same spot that I was. I don't know how I do it. I'm guessing it's because of the witchcraft I did for 21 years. I trained myself to lucid dream. And it's crazy, because it's the same part of the dream. I wake up slightly, oh. And then I just no, I need to finish this dream. That's what I told myself when I woke up, is I need to finish this dream out. I need to find out what's going on. So I kind of just doze back off, and I forcefully place myself back into the dream where I was. And when I come to in the dream, I'm like, okay. And I'm transported to a different part of this dream. Now, this part of the dream, I'm walking down this sidewalk, and there's apartment complexes all around me, but I'm going towards an apartment complex door. So I'm walking towards this door, and before I get to the door, I look to my left, and you guys know how you have apartment complexes that are first floor, second floor, and they have their sliding doors where you can go out on the little balcony and you can look out. Well, as I'm walking, I look to my left, and that maintenance man is sitting outside, just looking all down and sad for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to try to discern this for you guys. He's looking down. He's sitting in a chair. He's looking down. There's a little flower bed in front of him, and he just looks kind of defeated. As I'm looking at this, a lady comes out on the balcony. She basically throws the sliding door open, and she comes out on the balcony, and she starts scolding the maintenance dude. She starts scolding him So, did it work? He's like, he just doesn't really say anything. And he just kind of shakes his head like, no. No, she's like, what's your problem? He's like, I'm just having a rough day at work, is what he says. I'm just having a rough day at work, and it just didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. And I'm watching this whole thing go on. It's like, they can't see me, but I can see them. And she's like scolding this dude like, well, you need to get your butt back to work so you can make me more money. Where's my money? Money this, money that. And she's just scolding him and scolding him. I'm like, huh. But before we move on to the next portion of the dream, from what I discerned from this is like the maintenance man was a demon, and he's trying to collect souls or trying to create fear and trying to get that energy for the higher up demons. Because this lady that came out on the balcony screamed demon. It's like she screamed Jezebel Spirit. That's exactly what my spirit was screaming to me in this dream when I was looking at her. Jezebel Spirit. And it's like the way she looked, it was like she had like comb over short blonde hair, like a Karen would have. So just like a Karen. And she just had this, it was just so weird. And the look on her face was just disgust for her husband. She's like, well, you better get out there and make me some more money. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm kind of feeling bad for the maintenance dude, but not really, because of the part of the dream that happened earlier. I'm like, and my discernment is coming in, and it's like demon, higher up demon, lower class demon soldier that failed in his mission, and she's scolding him for it. And she's just saying, get back to work, get back to work. And I'm just watching this go on. And as I'm watching this go on, I turn to my left, down the sidewalk, which I just came from. There's two females and two dudes. And the two dudes are walking the females towards this door that I'm standing at. So I step aside, and it's like they can't see me at all. I'm just watching these two dudes come up with these two females, and like they stop before they get to the door. And it's like I'm right in front of them. It's like they can't see me. But as I'm watching them, the spirit of discernment comes over me, and it's like, for some reason, in my spirit screams OnlyFans. I'm like, why is what OnlyFans? What? So as I'm watching them, OnlyFans is like screaming in my spirit, OnlyFans. And I'm like, okay, these two females must be in OnlyFans, and these two dudes must be like the photographers or something like that for OnlyFans. And that's what they're going to do. That's what was basically playing out in my head. I'm like, okay, that's what's going on. But as I'm saying this in my head, the two dudes start to disrobe these females. Like in the middle of just everybody. I don't know who everybody is. Me, I guess they can't see me, but before they even get inside, it's like they just start taking these females' clothes off. And it's like they get to the point where these females are in their underwear. And when I look over where the door should be to this apartment complex, it opens up into a vision. And this is the crazy part of this vision. It's like, how to explain it? It is basically Jesus. I'm going to say this is the most blasphemous thing I've ever seen in my life. It is like Jesus in a hot tub surrounded by females in bikinis. But this Jesus is, y'all seen Tales of the Crypt Keeper? This Jesus looks like Tales from the Crypt Keeper with no eyeballs. No eyeballs at all, just black sockets. And he has a crown of thorns pressed onto his head. And just nappy, disgusting, dead hair. And he looks like dead man's bones. That's exactly what this Jesus looked like. But he's got a golden goblet in one hand with these long, black, disgusting fingernails. And all these females are surrounding him and kind of like, leaning up against them like, hey, Jesus. And when I see this vision that just appeared, I just see this vision. I'm instantly in my spirit like, this is the most blasphemous, disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Because it was like an AI video in my dream, but it was like directly in front of me, and it just appeared. And like Jesus was like coming in and out of the vision itself. And these females were around him like, just giggling and laughing in their bikinis and a hot tub with a dead man's bones Jesus. And the most startling part about it was like he had his goblet, and he kept raising his goblet, watching these men disrobe these females. And I'm like, looking back and forth. And as I'm looking back and forth, it's like The song Red Wine, everybody's heard that. Red, red wine. Everybody's heard that song. Along with the song Red Rum. Because everybody knows red rum is murder backwards. So the dead Jesus is singing red wine and red rum together in tandem. And I don't know how he's doing it, but the way it sounds, it's working. And it is so demonic the way it sounds, because he's like, you know, red wine, red rum, red. But the way he's doing it, it's working perfectly. And I'm like, and he's got this golden chalice, and he's just putting it up, singing this song at the same time, and all these females are still ah. But when I look back over at the dudes, the two dudes, and the females just have this shameful look on their face, like they know what they're about to do is wrong. It just looks like they're in just total shambles about what they're about to do to make money. And the two dudes that are disrobing these females, they just come to a complete stop. And one of them looks up, and it's like he's stricken with like the Holy Spirit and conviction. This dude basically gets on all fours and starts praying to the Lord. And I'm like, what is going on? He starts praying, and he's praying, and he's praying for Jesus, and he's praying for the discernment, and he's praying to just what he's doing. He knows it's wrong. That's what he's saying. He's saying what he's doing, he knows it's wrong. And as he's praying, the Jesus that's in that vision, the dead man's bones Jesus, just stops singing just completely. And he starts staring at the dude. Well, I don't know. I can say he's staring because he's got these just dark eye sockets with no eyeballs. And he just looks at the dude, and it's kind of like, and as the dude's praying and praying, the Jesus in the hot tub kind of just disappears and vanishes. He just fades away. And these females that are in the hot tub are like, oh! And they're just like, well, where'd he go? Where'd he go? And the portal just closes up. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on? But that right there, that part of the dream was like the most demonic besides the maintenance man, because of the Jesus filled with dead man's bones. That was so demonic. But let me get to the next portion of this dream. Yeah, after that happened, I'm basically just sitting there at this apartment door, just looking at this dude pray. And he's just praying, and he's praying, and he's praying. And the other guy standing next to him didn't basically get on his knees, but he's got his head down like he's praying. And you can just see these two females with just this look on their face, this look of shame. And it's just like they know what they're about to do is absolutely, utterly, totally wrong. But it's like the conviction that the man's feeling, they're feeling it too. It is so strange to me. And in the dream, I'm feeling the conviction of what those two were doing. It's like I can feel the glory coming off of this man praying in my dream. And I'm like, and it's like, as soon as this dude says like amen, when he's done with his prayer, I wake up. Just snapped awake. I'm like, and I literally tap my girl. I got to tell you about this dream, because the people in the dream wouldn't listen to me when I tried to tell them about the dream. And she looks at me like, what? I was like, I got to tell you about this dream. Actually, I lied. She was already working on the computer, and I woke up by myself. I'm so sorry, guys. I did not mean to lie like that. For some reason, that's what in my head, that's what happened. But no, I woke up. She was already doing her work on the computer in the other room. And I'm just sitting there in bed like, I got to tell her about this dream. That's what happened. I'm so sorry for lying like that. Not really lying, just making a mistake. But that's exactly what happened. I got up, walked out to the dining room, looked at her, was like, I got a dream to tell you. And this one is weird. Because usually if I have a weird dream like this, I'll tell her about it. Because she likes hearing my dreams, because usually when I have dreams, it has something to do with the demonic, or it has something to do with Jesus Christ or angels or something like that. So I had to tell her about it. But I had to tell all you about it because even though you have demonic dreams, you can discern what's going on in these dreams. These dreams are trying to tell you something. And what I think my dream was trying to tell me is that the Jezebel spirit is trying to attack me because that is the sin I'm having trouble with the most. Not necessarily fornicating. I'm fairly good at not fornicating. I don't really have a problem with that. It's looking at provocative pictures. That's what it is. Like, because anytime you get on Facebook or anything of the sort, it's filled with females in their underwear. That's all it's filled with. And it's actually quite annoying because anybody trying to get out of this sin, stuck in lust or whatever, lusting after anyone that you look at, because Jesus said, if you even look at a woman with lustful intentions, you've already committed adultery in your heart. So it's hard for most men. But that's what I'm getting out of this dream, is that it was a Jezebel spirit basically entering my dream and giving me these visions. That's basically what I think. But I really just wanted to get that dream out there to you all, and I just want to thank you all for anybody and everybody who's coming back to my channel and watching my stories and watching anything that I have to say for that matter. I love you, and blessed be to God for you and your souls. Thank you so much. You are my brothers and sisters, and I love absolutely every single one of you. But anytime I have a vision or anything of the sort that I think that needs to be told to you guys, I'm going to come out and tell it to you guys, because you can always discern the spirit, and there's always a message in these dreams. Dreams and visions come from God. They come from demons. They come from angels. You just have to pay attention to what's going on in the dreams. Most people can't do the lucid dreaming like I can do. I understand that. But if you can remember, write it down, record it, and tell somebody about it. Maybe they can discern it for you. But I just want to thank you all for coming back and watching my channel. I love absolutely each and every single one of you, and I will continue to come out with videos just like this if I can. And if you guys will please go like and subscribe to my channel, I will love you all for that, because I love you all in general. But thank you so much for coming back to watch this. Blessed be all of you. I hope Jesus Christ is with you all. I hope he's with me, because I'm struggling a little bit. But thank you for coming back and watching my channel, guys. I absolutely love each and every single one of you. Have a blessed morning, noon, or night. Godspeed.